Welcome to EUPrivacyForAll, Session 65 on GDPR, Chair and Secretariat of the EDPB, Articles 69, 70 and 71. European Parliament suggested that the Chair of the EDPB would be elected with at least 2 deputy chairpersons. It also required that the position of the Chair shall be a full-time one. None of those provisions were finally laid down in the final draft. On its side, EU Council suggested the addition of an election of EDPB's chair by simple majority and for 5 years, renewable once. It was kept in the final draft. Regarding Article 70 on the tasks of the EDPB's chair, it would include notification of the decisions adopted by the EDPB to the lead supervisory authority and the concerned supervisory authorities, which was retained. Finally, in Article 71, the Secretariat of the EDPB shall perform its tasks exclusively under the instructions of the chair. It was retained. What was not laid down in the final draft was a possibility, where needed, that the EDPB, in consultation with European Data Protection Supervisor, establish and publish a code of conduct implementing this article. In its final draft, Article 69 lays down that the chair will be elected by a simple majority for 5 years, renewable once, along with 2 deputy chairs from amongst its members. Among the tasks to carry out by the chair are the preparation of the agenda of the EDPB, the notification of decisions to lead supervisory authority and concerned DPAs whenever there is a conflict, to ensure the timely performance of the consistency mechanism. The board will have to lay down the attribution of tasks between the chair and the deputy chairs in its rules of procedure. The Secretariat of the EDPB will be ensured by the European Data Protection Supervisor. It will perform its tasks exclusively under the instructions of the chair. Its staff involved in such a task will be subject to separate reporting lines from the staff involved in carrying out tasks conferred on the European Data Protection Supervisor. Where appropriate, the EDPB and the European Data Protection Supervisor will establish a memorandum of understanding regarding the implementation of this article and the terms of their cooperation. The Secretariat will provide analytical, administrative and logistical support to the EDPB, and it will be responsible in particular of the day-to-day business, communication between members, chair, the Commission, other institutions and to the public, the use of electronic means, translation, preparation and follow-up of the meetings, and preparation, drafting and publication of opinions, decisions on the settlement of disputes between supervisory authorities and other texts adopted by the EDPB. Among other provisions, let's notice that Recital 110 lays down that the EDPB should be represented by its chair. The Recital 110A stresses that it would be assisted by a Secretariat provided by the European Data Protection Supervisor. The chair of the EDPB, as laid down in Article 58.2, may request that any matter of general application or producing effects in more than one member state be examined by the EDPB. The chair of the board shall without undue delay electronically inform the members of the EDPB and the Commission using standardized format. If needed, the Secretariat will provide translations. It shall also inform each concerned competent supervisory authority. In case the members of the board are split regarding a specific decision, the final decision shall be adopted by the vote of its chair. The chair will represent the EDPB and shall communicate to the Commission the activities of the EDPB. Currently, the Article 29 of the Directive lays down that the Working Party shall elect its chairman for 2 years and his appointment is renewable. The Secretariat is provided by the Commission. The Working Party additionally shall consider items placed on its agenda by its chairman, either on its own initiative or at the request of a representative of the supervisory authorities or at the Commission's request. What should accountable data controllers and processors get prepared for? First, knowing that EDPB will be represented by its chair, elected amongst its members by a simple majority for 5 years, renewable once. That the chair will prepare EDPB's agenda, notify decisions adopted by the EDPB to the lead and consent DPAs, and ensure the consistency mechanism timely performance. EDPB's Secretariat will be provided by the European Data Protection Supervisor, performing its tasks exclusively under the instructions of the chair. The EDPB and the European Data Protection Supervisor will publish a Memorandum of Understanding determining the terms of their cooperation. In case the members of the board are split, the final decision will be adopted by the vote of its chair. Finally, EDPB's chair will communicate to the Commission the activities of the board. So the final question raised by those articles is knowing whether EDPB's chair will manage to ensure the timely performance of the consistency mechanism so that the implementation of EU data protection principles would be a reality-based and efficient one.